Greetings and salutations, travelers. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads. And as always, welcome back to our Around the Hearth discussions. We hope you've been enjoying this podcast. And in 2025, which is when this is going to be in that playlist, you will have known by now, if you've been watching our stuff, that we are going to be doing some special things for Discord and stuff like that. But I'll get into that in the Dan's introductions and announcements. So I'm going to start that off. We're going to dive right in because we've got stuff to convert. We're converting a song that was suggested by Skrat. So you might know what it is, considering that it's in the title. But just in case you don't, stick around. I am Adam L. Spain with the Inn of Planar Crossroads. You can check us out on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to our PayPal, Locals, and Patreon. I'm going to get that all into like one word eventually. It's going to be like... You can find us on Scribbleada. But you can check us out there. The things we're going to be doing in Discord, which we've been announcing, is that I'm going to put together some pages, some standardized pages that we can fill in with these chats and be able to say, depending on what we kind of decide, whether we make a character each week to go with what we're talking about, or we make we work together on a setting, character, adventure, hook, or something like that. We'll figure it out. But we're going to be sharing those over in the Discord if you want to check those out. And to check those out in the Discord, you just have to support the Inn of Planar Crossroads at least one time. That's the thing. We encourage people to support more than that, but if you support just one time, you get access to the Discord. So go ahead and check that out. And then we have Dan from Avenue Studios.
Hey everybody, I'm Dan, Avenue Studios. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, and anywhere you listen to your podcasts. We are streaming Thursday nights, usually a mini campaign, starting in maybe in February, probably March. We'll be starting our Battle Zoo Bestiary campaign. Roll for Combat content. We may have some sneak peeks at the Storm Elemental stuff they have coming out, but we're definitely going to have some Eldamon in there and some other stuff. So join us for that next mini campaign. And then there's some other cool ones. Skrat coming up. We haven't scheduled it yet, but oh yeah, Nuts campaign in the works. And of course, Skratter Days. You can join us for those random Saturday-ish streams where we try out new systems that Skrat wants to check out and review on his channel. So join us for those. And of course, Chris and I are on Moonskull on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. Join us over there as we're players in a Starfinder 2E game. And yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yeah. And then that he was talking about Skrat, the Skrat from A Squirrel Plays.
As me, I'm over on YouTube. And I make videos. Bet you didn't see that coming. Glee was actually just working on her character for the Nuts campaign. She's super excited about it. So,
that's so awesome.
Anyway, making videos. Yeah, that's what I do over on YouTube. As one does, I like to talk about character building, world building, some storytelling kind of things. It's a TTRPG focused channel, but I kind of approach it from a writing perspective because writing is what I like to do. But I do get into some TTRPG reviews, as Dan mentioned. So that means I get to play a lot of different games. I think Ironbound was the most recent one I did. But not by the time this comes out, because I think I'm going to do my Fathom review. That's what I'm going to start working on next. So I will have the Fathom review, which is I try to hit up not smaller games in the sense like they're small and compact, even though I like rules light ones. Try to hit up the lesser known ones, more indie things that need to get the word out. So I say that, but I'm going to be playing and reviewing Dolmenwood. So I think that one's pretty popular, and I did Easy D6 and Mouse Ritter too. That's actually what got me started. But hey, you gotta mix it in. I actually asked the community what they thought about more popular games, and they wanted me to do those too. So there you go.
Boom.
Yeah. You can check him out. He's going to eventually get me, probably for these videos, links to his book that he wrote, since we've been talking about high fantasy. So, there you go. I don't know if that one qualifies as high fantasy. It might be mid-high fantasy, we'll say.
It's a high fantasy world, but you don't get to experience that in each story. I keep it restricted, regulated, so it's manageable.
There we go.
Will it
Exclusive,
be,
limited, and
you
regulated.
already kind of...
Do I?
Yeah, that's good. You kind of said the first one. When, theoretically, if the link's in the description, is that going to be your second edition?
Yeah, I'll just update, because like it's on Amazon. It's just got a bunch of typos because of the editor stuff that went on. So
yes, I'm nervously waiting because as soon as you say it's good to go.
So I'll just update it on the back end. I'll swap out the file because it's all just print on demand. So they just grab what's in the system and print. So I just replace what's in the system. Easy peasy.
Cool. Yeah, lemon squeezy.
All right. Well, I guess that means we're done with Dan's introductions and announcements. So now we can go into our Levi's shoutout, which is That Turtle GM. He has been covering mostly different dragons and such. So you can check that out if you want to. It is there. And the Sapphire Dragon is the most recent one as of recording right now. So he was very impressed with the Sapphire Dragon's design, even though, it's 5e. He's doing the 5e content. I get it. But, you can still take inspiration from those creatures and not play 5e. So, I don't like 5e. Or whatever version it is now. So,
5.5.
5.5.
5.5.
That's right. 5 smack to the
24.
face. 5. All right. But you can check that out. It's still cool to see the way that the monsters are designed, whether you're using them, like I said, for 5e or not. Seeing the way that designers put things in their monsters or in their production of them can help you with designing your own monsters and designing your own adventures. There you go. Check out That Turtle GM. He's at 1,000 subscribers-ish. Let's get him up to 1,500. That should be cool. Put a little turtle emoji in there and tell him that the Inn of Planar Crossroads or Avenue Studios or Skrat, a Squirrel Plays sent you. So, and I think that's everything for this shout out. Anything you guys need to cover before we go into Kane's councils of Kane, excuse me?
Nope.
I'm good. Let's do it.
All right. We'll pull
Skrat's
up.
got his baby.
This one's Glee's. Mine's over there somewhere.
Well, pull up your own kitten and the drink you prefer and cuddle up around the hearth as we discuss End of All Hope. Skål.
Skål. I was supposed to have the dog, but she went with the wife.
Figures. Okay.
Figures, yeah. Girls.
So, this is the world building setting discussion. We're doing a conversion of End of All Hope by Nightwish. I'll get that pulled up. There we go. And we have done this one, let me see, because Skrat suggested it. So it's End of All Hope. This is, I guess this is hard rock, maybe meta. I'm not sure what this one kind of fall in as far as
rock opera or something.
Yeah, something like that. Because it has a story kind of going in it, which makes it good for conversions. Mm-hmm. So I think this one actually, was excited as I started to look into the lyrics of this one. But I don't know that I won't go first necessarily. So let me see. Kane put in some suggestions for some things, so we'll look at that first, and then we'll dive into what we kind of have for conversion of it, and the world building conversion portion specifically. So Nightwish's End of All Hope is a pretty relentlessly depressing song, despite how heavy and aggressive the overall sound and production of the track is, and the lyrics really do make me think of a sort of grim gothic world where people struggle to batter back the encroaching darkness fueled only by the dying light of hope. A lot of the darkest dungeon energy, with some black cauldron thrown in there for a good measure. Whoever you are within the world crafted by this song, you are small and the night is long. Don't know that I can make it, but I found the time. Blah, blah, blah. That was something else. Okay, so that was his idea there. I like where he's going. I actually disagree with the last sentence though, because I've got ideas about that. But before I dive into any of my ideas,
sentence again?
That no matter who you are in this world, you are small and of little consequence, or something like that.
Okay.
Whoever you are within this world, crafted by this song, you are small and the night is long. I agree with the night is long part, but the small part, I'm going to actually push back a little bit with my conversion. So, before I go into mine, do you guys want to dive into yours? Any kind of inspirations you wanted to do?
Who wants to go first?
Mine's short, so I can be the filler between your two guys'
All right.
beautiful exposition.
All right. So usually I just take like 2 lines for these things and then just go from there. So
Perfect.
I was thinking for this one, since we're high fantasy, all that stuff, you could just go the whole 9 here. So gates of hell open up, demons come out, into the world kind of stuff, and the angels actually do come down and try and stop it and lose. Like they lose the fight. So they are just like the line, the angels fell first or whatever it was. And then the people are still there, and the people are trying to fight the fight. They're not doing so good. They're just constantly losing. They're losing one territory after another. And then kind of gets to the point where people are turning on each other because they're like, world's over anyway. I don't care. It's about me. So you've lost the hope, right? Whereas that's kind of where the party comes in. And this is kind of what I want to do with the Nuts campaign. So if Glee's at the end of the hallway listening, I hope she puts her headphones on and doesn't spoil it. It's that the party's
Gotta do the lean back and yell at her.
Yeah. So the party's kind of these nobodies, right? They're not, since we're talking about fantasy, the prophecy, right? That's usually a big thing, big trope in fantasy. You're the chosen one, all that kind of thing. It's like, nope, you are nobody. All this requires is for somebody to stand up. Like, could be anybody. So that would be the party in this one. And I'll get a little more into that in the next one, I guess. But let's say I'm skimming my notes. I always have a hard time finding where the cutoff is between these episodes on these last 2, because the party always ties in with the world.
He starts trying to write out it stuff. Yeah.
I already told you about the party. So, and maybe I'll get into it a little bit more, but I'd kind of like the magic system to be more of a faith system. Because you're having to you keep the faith, and there's different ways you can have your faith, which gives you different abilities and stuff. Because you are supposed to be the hope, right? That's kind of the essence of this. So that's all I got. I guess I'll stop there and save the rest for the next one.
Okay.
It's a very religious kind of one instead of magic and dragons.
I'm glad I let you go first.
Well, I was thinking about that whole...
We're totally thinking similar.
Yeah. I mean, if you're willing to open up the gates of hell in your setting, man, I mean, the Hazak will walk right out for you. Have some fun.
Right.
Well, so
he's an angel that fell.
On this note, I had to bring this up every time I can, because we were talking about Elder Scrolls in a previous episode. So, y'all are semi-familiar with the story of Oblivion, right?
Ish, yeah.
Yeah. The Gates of Hell, they popped up, or the Gates of Oblivion popped up everywhere. So, in the Black Marsh, which is where all the Argonians are, I don't think it was during the Oblivion incident. I think it was just another standalone thing that happened. One of the Daedra or whatever opened one of those gates to raid the Black Marsh, and the Argonians said no and stormed Oblivion. Basically, they were all just a bunch of Doom guys and ran in there, and they kicked them so bad that they had to close the gate. It's like, why don't we have that game? It's officially in the lore.
That
Too close to Doom.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of Argonians running there.
So someone out there, the comment is coming early. Doom Argonians.
Uh-oh.
There you go. There's your campaign right there. You just everybody's Argonians, and you get to storm Oblivion.
There you go.
There you go.
I like the Elder Scrolls, I do, but their lore is not consistent. So
no, it's not. I've seen their defenses on that, and I can kind of get behind their defense because it's a video game and the way they develop and have to do things. It's like, okay, I don't like it, but
if they were somehow,
I can understand.
If they were somehow close to the Hist, then and there was some kind of Hist influence in the Argonians that were storming, like they were hissed up or something, I could get it a lot more. But I don't know that that's the case.
Nah, I don't know the whole story. I've been meaning to get into it and see where all that came from. I just
he'll read the lore for Elder Scrolls, but won't read one of the best fantasy set written. Period. With Lord of the Rings.
Granted, I was in high school.
Shots fired.
I was in high school, but I read The Hobbit, and I thought it was the greatest thing on the planet. I was like, oh man, this is cool. I wonder if he wrote anything else. And then Mom was like, yeah, he wrote these other 3 books called Lord of the Rings. I was like, well, that's cool. And then I went and tried to read them. It's garbage. I couldn't read it.
Audiobook it, man.
I was something, because I got like a third through that book and just had to ask myself, what did I just read? What is happening? I couldn't tell you anything.
It's not meant to be speed read. It's not meant to be read like The Hobbit. That's fair.
No, it's
not at all.
It is a different story, man. It's a different style, different tone.
If you treat it like this is the legends and myths and lore of Europe, then you can get like, oh, this is like the epic of Europe type of thing. Then you get it. Then it's better. All right, before we dive too far into tangents, we gotta... Dan, what's yours? We are on a timetable.
But I swear I thought of this before hearing Skrat's. It's a similar idea. Although mine, I was wanting to take, and it's because of the song. It just has these great lyrics, so I think it makes you go that way. But I was thinking of post-apocalyptic angels and demons as well. I wanted to go, and it's probably because it's the content I'm consuming right now, but I was really in the mind of doing the like anime, Japanese version of that, which is not in any way theologically accurate. So taking the demons idea when it's like an anime and when it's Japanese, demons means like any spirits basically. So But I like that the same idea that the angels have fallen, so there was a war, and the good guys lost. The bad guys are in control. I really like the idea of the part. I got the lyrics here. Oh yeah. Now I don't know what this is. In the song, it sounds like they're saying Mendelian. I have no idea what that is. I didn't have time
I
to
know
look
what
it up.
that is, and I will.
But
I got anything for that. But yes.
Mandelion.
Yep.
I like those. Mendelian, Death Wish, End of Hope, End of Love, End of Time. I wanted to make like the big main bosses. So it's like the princes of darkness, to kind of take a twist on that. And they're the lords of the world currently. There are fallen angels out there, because Ryan and I had goofed around with this idea. It's more Ryan had this idea of what if there were angels and demons walking around in this setting, and like they're just basically different ancestries at a higher level, and humans are just the like nobodies beneath them. So that kind of setting, and hopefully utilizing those parts of the song to be like those, you know, the main bosses you really want to go take out, and maybe something with the without a face, without a prayer, that has something to do with how to defeat them, or describing them and their powers. And then I wanted to play on the prophecy thing too, because I'm thinking the party, I was hoping the party would be built up of like a fallen angel, just a regular human, maybe somebody who's utilizing demon powers. There could be a demon in there too, because I am going with that anime style on demons, so there's a lot more flexibility in how they are, you know.
Sounds very World of Darkness.
And that, yeah, yep. And so they're going to defeat the bad guys. I really had, this will get into the next thing, but I had some specific ideas for the human character in particular. But I wanted to play with, there is some kind of prophecy out there, and at least one person in the party is determined that they are going to be part of this prophecy. And spoilers, it's in another show. I don't want to say the show because it's a really good show and you should watch it, but there's a hero who's certain he's going to be like the Arthur pulls the sword out of the stone, and everyone thinks he did, and he actually succeeds in defeating the main bad guy. But you come to find out, sorry, he never pulled the sword out of the stone. He wasn't the chosen one, but he defeated the main bad guy anyways. So it's like,
I could do it anyway.
I wanted to play with that. Yep, that's exactly it. So it's very much that anime, like, you know, if I believe in myself, you know, power, friendship, keep trying, don't give up. So I have I wanted a dark world with this hopeful spark, this light of hope in the party that just can't be put out, no matter how hard it gets. And that's what leads through with hopefully a happy ending, because it's me. But
happy
anyway.
endings.
I was say, Jacob's wife found out how I feel about happy endings. She's reading some of my work.
Now I just want to read his book more.
A happy ending.
So look, that one is
doesn't mean everyone survives.
See, she thought it was a pretty good ending. It still made her very sad, and she cried. But she's like, "That's a good ending," and I was like, "That's the happiest one I've ever written by a mile." She was like, "Oh no."
Now, in fairness, with an RPG, my hope as a game master is that the players do succeed in their overarching goal. Whether they all die in succeeding that's great, or not, you know, but slight difference from like writing a story.
Gotcha.
Anyway, that's my mic drop, sort of. That's my hot take. I like it if the, you know, the players have a goal and they get to the goal.
Eventually, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, I'll run through mine real quick so that we can go ahead and wrap up the world building portion of our conversion here. So, I'm going to do a callback to, I think, 2023, when we were doing deity design, and we talked about monotheistic deity design and polytheistic deity design. And we talked about, we kind of alluded to some kind of atheistic deity design too. And I remember us talking about a dying god, a dying deity. And that's what I think would fit really well with this particular song. So I'm going with the dying universe. It needs reviving, like it will end with a birth. I wanted to take that and be like, so we're going to reinvigorate the universe. Kind of like Dark Souls lighting the fire, but you actually do change things. You relight the fire. Either one person or a group have to become the new deity or deities that relight that fire, and give themselves for the universe. Because that's what was kind of the not atheistic, but dying god type of idea was. And so black roses are a theme through the song. I was like, okay, so black roses mark the places for its end. They bloom through the snow, and it's a cold setting because the deathbed is covered in snow in the song, so it's a chilled, frigid setting, kind of like heat death of the universe. The stars are going out type of thing. And the angels fell first. I'm going with, like, this is a not quite, but almost like post-divine setting. Very grimdark, very depressing. They might have to, if you want to, make it where, and this leads a little into the next one, where you take, the deities have stats in 3.5 and stuff. You can get a book that has the stats of their avatars. Not the deities full thing, but their avatars that they come down in physically. Well, maybe that's how they are now. And they're vying for the next position. They're going against the party in this. That's kind of leads into the next one, but not fully. So you can have them fighting with not full on the god that started this universe, but things that rose up in time, like maybe there's Set, and then there's Zeus, and then there's Sati or something like that. Different deities. In heaven, my masterpiece will finally be sung. That's a PC ascension in this world building that I'm doing. So the song that will be sung in heaven will finally be the masterpiece of this deity. And because we're talking high fantasy this time, we're talking huge fantasy, these are, if not max level characters, I would actually say this is when you do a max level character, and they're fighting to ascend. There's no too high in the fantasy now. It is all vying to do that, to make that universe continue and do that recreation. And the Mandelion line there, apparently the Mandelion, also called the image of Edessa, was a cloth bearing the image of Jesus' face, said to have been imprinted on it miraculously. So that Mandelion without a face. So part of the conceit of the dying god universe was that this individual was super powerful, and they made the universe, but they spent themselves to make it. And so as their essence has worn away, there's no more face. And so maybe you could do something more direct, where people that have the ability to possibly become the next deity to remake the universe, they start to have visions of that type of thing, someone without a face, and their face starts to get imposed there. Or you can be a little more vague if you want to just have that as a idea. So, without going into PC stuff, that's my kind of idea, and keeping it brief for us. That's my idea for this universal change, this breaking of the universe to be remade.
That's cool.
So, there we go. All right. I think since we've stopped for just a second, we're going to go ahead and go into the next chat. But we've got to say goodbye on this one first. So, we hope you have enjoyed. Leave your questions, comments, and observations. We did a comment for this one already, right?
I think we got it early.
Yeah.
Yes, and now I'm blanking on what it was.
Oh, now you just have to watch and leave the comment. So, comment down below what that is. We hope you have enjoyed our covering of some world building from Nightwish.
Doom Argonians.
Doom Argonians, that's right.
That was it.
So, comment Doom Argonians. Go over to that turtle GM. Comment Doom Argonians with the turtle thing and say
With the turtle, yeah.
with the that the Inn of Planar Crossroads, Skrat from a Squirrel Plays, or Avenue Studios sent you. There is Skrat from a Squirrel Plays. Check out his book. Check out his channel and all of that type of stuff.
Are we not doing Skrat's question?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to get Skrat's question. Hold on.
We did.
Okay. Hurry.
Forgot. It's
Ah,
perfect.
okay, all right, man. I had so many.
You
All
guys
right, let's
took
do
so long
this.
explaining your stuff, yo.
Hey, I got a couple of these questions would have been good discussion topics for the whole thing. But anyway, just we're talking about high fantasy, and we just built an adventure. What is your favorite high fantasy TTRPG system, and why?
Oh, man.
It has to be specifically, well, Open Legend doesn't
I was
have
wondering
one.
if you got a rules light, something like Nuts or Tricube that works really well, I'll allow it.
If I'm going for a system that is default high fantasy, I like Pathfinder. 1E or 2E, it's fine. But if I'm going with anything, it's Open Legend still so far.
Man, it's hard to say for favorite. Yeah. I'll be lame and not pick exactly favorite. If you want something crunchy, I agree. Pathfinder 2nd Edition is going to hit your high fantasy with the crunch. I'm really enjoying DC 20 as a nice middle ground. So if you still want something that kind of feels like 5th edition, but has a little more flex, DC 20 I've really enjoyed. And then, yeah, man, I love Open Legend. That one's been a lot of fun. But I'm really enjoying Nuts too, Skrat. So, and that can do anything.
It's true. It was actually fantasy based when I made it. And then
Oh, original.
yeah, it was
that's-
like item eater was scroll reading.
Yeah,
That's
so
all it was.
I look forward to the Nuts campaign to really give it a real go. And but yeah, I think that would be the range, depending on what you're looking for what you want to play. I got to do more Ironbound too, because I love urban fantasy, but I haven't gotten enough. I haven't gotten enough into it to say favorite. Oh, that's so hard.
Yeah.
Skrat asks the hard questions.
I hate the favorite questions. I mean, you could just say one that you like and think works.
Yeah.
good, but-
Yes.
I got a smaller pool to pull from, but I guess I have played Plaguebound, which is the fantasy version of Ironbound. But I think Easy D6, man. It's because it can be pretty high fantasy with the way the magic system works in it, which Dave took and used in Ironbound and Plaguebound. So
I have not played Easy D6.
I got it on our list of things
dude.
to play. I can run that one. I'm
look
wondering
forward
if we
to
can
that.
get Scotty to run us a game. I'm wondering.
Oh, man.
I
Let's
wouldn't.
try.
I wouldn't be right if that happened. I'd be fangirling the whole time.
Let's go. Let's do it. Get Steven Glicker to play with us, and Jake will be
Scotty.
fangirling. Scrat's fangirling.
Yeah. I'd just be like, I rolled a d6. But Dude, I was freaking out when he commented on my video. When I had like 500 subscribers, and he commented. I couldn't believe it. But anyway,
He's awesome.
he's a cool dude. Yeah, Easy D6. I feel like it because it's fast and it gives you that very fantasy feeling. Like I was saying, with the way the magic system works, like you can just do what you want, but there's enough rules to ground you to have something to roll and give you some tangible feedback and keep things under control, but still allowing, since you have that freedom, it gets pretty fantastical or whatever you want to call it. So some wild things can happen, and you do get that sense of fantasy while still actually playing the game instead of looking through your spell lists. I think it handles that very well. I think it lends itself to that very well. Now I really wish I had played Wasted Worlds to see how that compared to a non-fantasy setting with the similar rule set. So don't know, but that's gonna be my pick.
All right.
Cool.
Now you can close this out.
Yeah, now we can do the outro. Okay.
Okay, bye.
So for you guys that pop in and look at the bookmarks and like, oh, I'm just gonna hit the outro. Well, now's the outro. Outro is
Outro part 2.
Outro part 2. Part
The
2.
Reckoning.
The Reckoning returns again. So, we already did that Turtle GM. Want to get him up to 1,500, so check that out. Skrat from A Squirrel Plays, Dan from Avenue Studios, and then myself, Adam, from the Inn of Planar Crossroads. Support any of us the way you would like to. Patreon, subscribe, Patreon, stuff like that. Subscribe star for locals, all that type of stuff. And get your perks and stuff. Get your perks for the Inn of Planar Crossroads, because we're going to be sharing some created content for y'all. Only on the Discord. I think that's it. As always, have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.
See, okay, Skrat. So these questions, you're supposed to, I'm like, does anybody have any ideas for this type of thing that we're going to be talking about? And then you always come with more questions.
Well, that's my job now, is to come with questions.
But those questions could have been subject lines.
Well, okay, so here's one you can
this.
say for later. Well, because I don't go get them until I have the marching orders of what we're going to be working on. So, anyway, one was, how do you balance epic scope with personal stories in a high fantasy TTRPG campaign? That could have been a whole video. What advice would you give to someone who is new to running or playing high fantasy TTRPGs?
Run away.
Yeah. Don't play 5e.
Well, I duly noted one of those down. There we
Only
go.
one. I'm only half worth your time. I got you. That's fine.
Well, asking for recommendations for running high fantasy. That's what we do during the whole chat. So,
Yeah.
But the first one, balancing epic scope with personal stories, that could be done.
I feel like we've kind of hit some of that with the other genres and stuff too.
But next year roll around, we may want to throw it in there.
Absolutely.
Because everybody watches every video that we make. Sure,
That's right.
We're over here referencing back like 3 years almost. Well, it's 2 years for this particular reference back, but before that, we've referenced stuff back into the old
Pre-Skrat days.
The pre-Skrat days.
P.S.
P.S. Pre-script. All right.